So who is responsible for the mass shootings? People want to know. People seem to be very confused. I've gotten countless messages about this. Who should we point fingers to? I do believe I have the answer, and it may shock you. I believe I have the answer. But before we get to the answer, let's talk about some influences in our society, influences in our everyday life. And I really do believe it starts with parenting. Parenting, our home life, family life. Some people don't even have a family life. They seriously do not. And you can't tell me that doesn't influence, that doesn't impact a person, and that doesn't affect a society. Because it does. What about neighborhood safety? The level of crime. It could be drug activity. It could be physical violence. I mean, you can't tell me that physical safety isn't an influence. It is. And you can't tell me that there's not other forms of influence when it comes to violence, like video games and movies. Even the nightly news can be very violent. You can't tell me that doesn't have an impact. And it may not do a lot in the short term, but over time, it adds up. It adds up. What about hate? Ever been around a hateful person? Then you know that has an immediate impact on you. That can influence you right from the get-go. Of course, we can't leave out government, right? Sometimes government does good things and sometimes not. Sometimes their policies and laws are okay. They work. Sometimes they're unjust, even unconstitutional at times. They have a lot of influence in our society. Mainly because we give so much power over to them. We have so much influence because we allow it. Law enforcement, their policies and tactics also influence us. Some people have had very bad experiences with law enforcement. Others, not so much. And then you have your work experiences and your school experiences and other types of experiences. You could have been bullied in school. You could have been harassed at work. These things influence us. Our mental health, our physical health, they influence us. And we have to look sometimes inwardly to our own decision making. Sometimes we create a situation that people view us in a certain way because of things that we've done, decisions that we've made. And while our friends highly influence us, studies have shown that for years, we can't blame our friends and our family, though, for what we do. We can't blame the news outlets and social media for what we do. So who is to blame? When it gets to brass tacks, ultimately, who is to blame? And I think ultimately, it is the person who commits the crime that is to blame. It's a real shocker, right? But in these days where there's virtually no common sense, these are golden words. The criminal is to be blamed. You have to hold the criminal accountable. Otherwise, there can be no accountability. And if there's no accountability in society, you cannot have law and order. People have free will. They have choices. And because they have choices, They are accountable for what they choose. And this accountability is a necessity for a functional and safe society. Yes, a functional and safe society. So Trump didn't kill these people in these mass shootings. Your family didn't kill those people. They're not responsible either. Your friends aren't responsible. But you are responsible for your actions. No one else but you.